Just checking. See what it does. It's Facebook. Episode 17. Episode 9. Okay, get rid of that. The 9. Okay, let's get rid of that. All right, boys. If one of you wants to go to the page and share that out,
Share it out.
I'm gonna get us started right now.
I'm gonna do it right after my first pitch. I'm just gonna read the things.
Yampo, can you go and do it or no?
I don't think I have access to the Turn 2 Facebook page.
All right, hang on. Let me see. Share.
I mean, I can.
I get to it. Hang on. I'm gonna tag Sean too, and Paul.
Yeah, just do it. Oh, Devils almost let up a goal like 30 seconds into the second.
Okay, ready?
It's going. It's going.
Yeah, sure.
Let's see if they can turn 2. There's 1. And there's 2.
Pretty big fish to fry. That's a pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. That's a pretty big fish to fry. That's a pretty big fish to fry. My, oh, my. Last weekend I barely thought I'd make it out alive. Told myself I'd take time and give some world a try. I was alive. My, oh, my.
Oh, yeah. It is Tuesday, December the 20th, 2016. You are checking out what has been brought to my attention, the #1 rated podcast for amateurs talking sports and beer, with some people on the podcast from New Jersey, some people from Chicago, and one from the nation's capital. This is Turn 2. The average sports fan's turn to give you their opinion about what's going on in the world of sports and enjoy a little bit of beer in the process. Thanks for taking the time, everybody. We are coming to you on Facebook Live tonight as well. So if you're checking us out there, send the comments coming as you guys check in. That'd be fantastic. We'll continue to mention that. I'm joined each and every week. I took a little bit of a hiatus last week. I'm joined each and every week by our distinguished panel from our nation's capital. We'll see if he has learned how to use the mute button. We have Yampo.
I figured it out. Ho, 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 fellas.
Good. That's good. And our, I guess as Paul put it last week, our backup signal caller, who I think did a very admirable job, and our fans from Utah and Hawaii absolutely agree, from Denville, New Jersey, rocking the playoff beard right now, even though the playoffs are not going on. It's Brett.
I'm big on the West Coast. It's nice to have you back, dude.
It's good to be back. Last week I called in. I don't know if you heard the voice. It was pretty poor. The quality of the voice was not exactly there. Paul actually told me that I sounded like absolute crap last week, so I'm glad that I was able to take the week off and you guys were able to fill in admirably and screw the rules and do your own thing, and it was entertaining. Good job.
It did not sound like you.
No, it was
Even-
bad.
Even when I went back and listened to the podcast after, like hearing you, I forgot it was you. Like I was like, did we have somebody else? Oh yeah, here he comes.
It was bad.
Yeah, it didn't sound good.
Yepo had a nice call in though. That was good.
It's a little buzzed.
You legitimately sounded like a caller on a radio show though. Like that was good. Like you were calling from the car, which was solid.
Yeah, that was the strategy. Also, let's be careful tonight. There's some Milltown people creeping on Facebook Live. They're going to be heckling.
All right.
Let's do it. Bring it.
We'll look to you to bring that up. But the rules are back in session. Apparently, I'm a strict disciplinarian. So here we go.
And good evening, everybody. And despite the fact that I have just knocked a cup of coffee in my lap and a suit that's just out of the cleaners, it's great to be home.
And his first pitch to D. Gordon is almost on the kneecaps for ball one. D just did get out of the way.
It's the first pitch.
Okay, so we've been talking about the NBA and all sorts of stuff for a couple of weeks. And Brett had decided that he had had enough of a particular situation. And so this week's first pitch, it goes to Brett. Lead us off.
Thanks, bud. Yep, had enough. I guess that's the way to describe it. I know this time of year, we have a lot of sports teams in the area locally. And depending on how well each ones are doing, it guides the talk on sports talk radio. And as a person that listens to a lot of sports talk radio, sometimes in the winter months, things can be kind of calm and dead. And what the sports talk radio world likes to do then is kind of come up with topics about superstars that they can talk about that appeals to everybody. And I guess that happened last week, because early last week, and I think I texted you guys in the group today, I can't even remember, but all I can hear for 2 days straight across all different stations, platforms, is nobody can believe that LeBron James is taking nights off. And that's all I heard for 2 days about LeBron taking nights off. And he's a bad guy. And the main crux of that argument, I guess, is always, well, what about the parents who paid hard-earned money to their, for their child to go see him, and he just doesn't show up? And I kept thinking over and over again, I fail to see how that's LeBron's responsibility to some kid in Memphis, Tennessee, to go out and play for him. It's not his responsibility, and it never will be. LeBron's responsibility is to his teammates, his coaches, himself, and to continue to bring championships to the city of Cleveland. If there was an issue maybe where he was getting in trouble for taking nights off during home games, I guess I could see some validity in the what about the parents for the kid argument, since you can kind of reason that he has a responsibility to Cleveland fans. But he's doing the exact opposite of that, and he's taking time off on the road. A time off that I think, I don't know about you guys, is well-deserved. He's gone to 6 straight NBA finals. He's had an Olympics thrown in there for good measure. He's been playing basketball nonstop for the better part of a decade. And you think maybe he deserves one night off in Philadelphia, in January? I don't see an issue with it. And the worst offense to the argument, I think, that they made last week was the constant comparison to Michael Jordan. And all I heard was, well, Jordan never took a night off. Jordan played 82 straight. That's the way it used to be. Yeah, that's the way it used to be. Things change. If you want to be a dinosaur and stuck in the past, refuse to evolve, be my guest. But the future continues. And I heard this, I listened to Mike and Mike in the morning talk about it, and they had some guy on. I don't know who it was. I wish I remember. And he's talking to Greeny, and he's saying to him, that famous Michael Jordan quote, I have to give 100% every night because there might be some kid in the stands who's never seen me play anymore. And Greeny just looks at him and goes, yeah, that was Joe DiMaggio. But okay, we understand. And it's just these things start getting attributed to Jordan that never really happened. It's so weird that we kind of, do these things. We put Jordan on a pedestal. Now nobody can be better than Jordan, or nobody could do what Jordan did. Yet we kind of failed to realize that before Jordan, there was another greatest player of all time. And before that guy, there was another. And after LeBron, there's going to be another NBA player who eclipses his talent. That's the way the world works. I guess my aim is just let the man take a night off once in a while, and to stop using children and Michael Jordan as crutches. Why for one night you weren't able to see his greatness happen. It's well-deserved. He's an amazing player. Just be appreciative of what we have now in the moment. That's my first pitch.
Okay, so two things. One, because we do have revisionist history about Jordan, right? We those of us that watched him play, we tend to hyperbolize his career that he's never lost a game, right?
Right. Yes.
Like that's the level of what Jordan has become. So
yes, very much.
In doing a little bit of research to back up the argument of everybody that says Jordan never did this, I'm going to run you through Jordan's seasons, okay?
Yeah.
From start to finish. And in 84-85, he was a rookie. He played 82 games.
Okay.
In 85-86, he got injured. He only played 18 games because he got injured and didn't play after he got hurt.
Okay.
86-87, he played 82 games. 87-88, he played 82 games. 88-89, he played 81 games. 89-90, he played 82. 90-91, he played 82. 91-92, he played 80. 92-93, he played 78. 94, he came back after he was playing baseball. He played 17 games that were remaining in that season. 95-96, he played 82. 96-97, he played 82. 97-98, he played 82.
Yeah.
And then he was retired again. And when he came back and played for the Wizards, he played.
We don't have to count the Wizards, though.
Whoa.
Well, listen, when he came back and played for the Wizards, he played 60 games that first year, which I don't think he came and started the year. I think he came in late that year. And then the last year of his career, at 39 years old, he played all 82 games.
Yeah.
So
that's insane.
So the argument of Jordan did this, that, and the other thing, and LeBron wants to be the greatest player of all time. The argument's there. He's not. He's just flat out not doing what Jordan did. Now, let's look at it this way. Jordan played in those Olympics, right? In the dream.
Yeah, he went kicking and screaming, but
he went kicking and screaming, and then he freaking retired.
Yeah.
So LeBron's taking a night off. Jordan retired because he was. I've had enough. I'm gonna go try to play baseball. So.
We should talk more about that one day, too, the reason why Jordan retired, because I'm not convinced it was to play baseball.
No, it's because he had gambling debts and they killed his father.
Right. Another thing we don't acknowledge about him.
Is that can we do a 30 for 30 on that?
That'd be pretty cool.
On his dad or on his gambling problem?
All of it?
Of those years. It should be like Jordan 91 to 96. Like
terrible baseball swing, too. Terrible swing.
Yeah, dude, he had no business doing that. Tim Tebow does stuff like that, not Michael Jordan,
But the funny thing to me is he did that, and then he came back and he was like, oh, okay, so I'm just gonna still be the best basketball player. like he literally took off time just to chase this stupid dream. Then he came back and he was just as good, if not better, than he was before. Like that, we've never seen anything like that before.
No, we haven't. And it is amazing. I will never not say that. But I also don't I think LeBron could have won 3 straight titles with the Heat, taken 2 years off, and come back and won 3 titles.
Well, here's the other side of the coin that I did want to mention about LeBron is, I don't like that he takes the nights off, and I hated that Carmelo did it the other night too, and lumped himself in with LeBron as if he's the same guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, your dog.
But is he loud?
No, he's quiet.
Put him on mute.
I'll go get him. I'll put it on mute.
But the thing about it is, it's like, and Dave, you can speak to this being in the corporate world, right? Like in any other job, you get personal days.
You get a couple,
right?
Are you referring to corporate world because I'm wearing a button down on the podcast?
Well, okay, so you work for Susan G. Komen.
Yes, I do.
Your pink button down.
Listen, I'm also coming to you live from the Playroom as always. We're going to do an auxiliary podcast for the Milltown crew. We're going to call it the Playroom. It's going to be real weird.
It sounds real weird.
Yep.
But talk to me because you've had you know, in the corporate world, you do get days. You get personal days or sick day, like they're all lumped in, correct? Or do you have a different allotment for where you?
No, you get a set allotment of, you know, personal and sick days, and you use them as you please. They don't roll over like T-Mobile minutes that Brett has, but
Right. But so when you use them, nobody really gives you crap for them, right? You can.
yeah. I mean, it's not like I'm using them during, you know, game 4 of the playoffs, or, you know, I got a big presentation. I'm like, I'm going to use a personal day.
But the point is, in everybody's job, in pretty much the whole world, as far as, you know, once you have a career, you get days to take.
I get that. I just don't think it's the same in sports. You know, these guys. Because,
Why? That's what I fail to see. Is
because it's not a year, because their season isn't year round, right?
You don't think they train year round. You don't think people are up at the gym on
Yeah, I
Monday
didn't
morning
say
at
that.
6
I didn't say they
a.m.
don't train. Listen,
You know,
I
they work. They work. You know,
All right,
this is
LeBron's season is year round. I mean, Brett just said it. He goes to the Olympics. He had what, like 15, 20 days off?
yeah, seriously. I mean, I don't know. And you know what? Like, he's being paid to work, you know, every night he possibly can. But you're allowed to take a day off, is all I'm saying.
yeah, I don't. Who really cares? Honestly, who cares about basketball?
Well,
That's another issue
Sorry.
because a lot of people do.
I blacked out. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and a lot of people were making a huge deal about it, right? I mean, to your
Yes.
point, Brett. I mean, enough for you to bring it up. And
Well, how do you feel? How about this? Let me just, and not to belabor the first pitch, but
No, let's
what
keep
if
going.
you're a little kid? All you want to do is see LeBron. Your dad takes you to the game on Tuesday, spends $200 on the tickets and all the, you know, rigmarole that goes with it, parking, all that jazz, and your favorite player's not playing. How do you think we used to feel when we go see the Devils and Marty wasn't playing goal?
You know what though? The next time I went, Marty was playing goal. The point was,
Oh, the next time. Well,
there.
some kids don't
I was
go the
there,
next time.
but the point was, I was there for the Devils. Like, I was there to see the New Jersey Devils. Like I said, if it was a kid there, a Cavalier kid, and that was a thing, all right, yeah, that stinks. But like, that other kid should be rooting for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like, that's who he should be there
That's
for.
not
He
what
shouldn't be
happens. You
there
know
for
that.
LeBron.
You're taking an adult rationale to a child's argument.
and you're also looking at it from a hockey perspective, where you know Marty was definitely the star of that team. Hockey is absolutely has never been marketed by individual players the way basketball has.
Yeah,
So-
basketball is a very star-driven league.
So let's take that same comparison that Dave had and go back to that era. How about the kids that went to, you know, Brendan Byrne Arena to watch Drazen Petrovic play because they wanted to watch Michael Jordan? If he didn't show up that night, they weren't going to watch, you know, Yinka Dare play. They were going to see Michael.
I was.
Listen, you're on that and that thing. You're right.
Hold on. Did I ever tell you? Because Yinka just came. Did I ever tell you the Yinka Dare story?
No, but now it seems like a great time.
If there's ever a time, it's now, right? So our buddy Phil had season tickets to the Nets, and so they were pretty good seats, right, Brett? They were probably like what,
Yes.
like the 15th row, 20th row.
Yep, 15 is probably a good number. They were probably 15th row.
And so we were Calipari,
Like center court too ish. You know,
Yeah.
like not,
Yeah, it
not
was
far
like
from center court.
probably like foul line extended.
Yeah.
Right. So Calipari was the coach at the time, and we're like it's a blowout. I don't even remember who they're playing, but they're just getting smashed. And so everybody,
As most Nets games went back then.
right. So you know, Armand Gilliam had done as much as he possibly could. You know, Armand Gilliam used to score. They used to play MC Hammer Drop. They're like Hammer Time, and I'm like, this is how terrible they are. So they were getting blown out, and Phil and I at the time, you know, I don't even know how old we were. We were young, and we were just screaming, "Put in Yinka, right?" And like everybody on the bench starts to laugh at this point because the building is so empty that they can hear these two clowns in the 15th row. So Calipari starts to chuckle at the fact that we're calling for Dare to go in the game. You just see him turn to his left and he goes, Dare. And Yinka at the end of the bench just go, literally, for those of you that are watching a face, he makes a face like, huh? Like he made a face like somebody had just served him a shit sandwich. It was like, here you go. Yeah, he had like we legitimately looked at each other. It was like, I bet he doesn't have his uniform on. Like I was convinced that he just didn't dress underneath his warm up. That's my Yinka Dare story. God rest his soul.
Well, R.I.P. Him and Drazen Petrovic. Let's
Yep.
move on.
R.I.P. in peace.
Let's move on.
That was a pretty solid first pitch.
Yeah, good job. Good job for that.
There's a lot of heckling going on.
All right, so a lot of heckling going on. We actually have your boy John here, Yampo.
Oh, Johnny Mac. He's
saying that he wants you to ditch these goons and go solo.
I told him there will be an auxiliary podcast called The Playroom.
You see, John, if Yampo could figure out how to work the microphone, he can definitely do a solo podcast.
The technology is not good with me.
He can barely figure out how to unmute himself.
Yeah. Well, it's okay.
All right, let's go NFL.
Let's talk about the Patriots. 8 straight, 7 straight championship game appearances. You're the worst person. You live in fucking New Jersey, you asshole, and you're a Patriots fan. It pisses me off. I'm just covering for Jet.
If you want to talk about him, we can talk about him.
Well, why don't you bring it up? I promise I won't cut you off. Go ahead. Talk to us about why your team keeps winning, even though people keep getting hurt, and all you have are just really quick, small white guys that play for your franchise.
God, it's what a great formula that is, by the way.
It's what I've also subscribed to this year with them. All right, it's pretty obvious. I mean, they keep winning because they have Tom Brady. So
I can't wait till he loses a leg or just is done. It's gonna be amazing.
It's coming.
And then are you gonna be like,
the next couple of years? It's gonna happen.
Is it gonna be like your basketball fandom? You're gonna be like, oh, the Giants.
Local.
I've been a Giants fan.
Local. If the Jets move to Queens,
oh God,
I'll do it. No,
that means Jeff has to commute from Belmar to Queens. Ugh.
It's already a hell of a commute from Belmar.
Please, I used to drive up to Giants games from DC and drive back.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that.
I can't talk about it on the podcast, actually.
Yeah, please. I think I know where you're going.
Talk about Michael Floyd.
Yeah, how about you just don't incriminate yourself? I think that's the name of the game here. Is just
off the rails. Alfred, what's up, man? I see that you're talking about a Period 5 lunch podcast. I don't know. We need to kind of make that happen. No, but talk about the Pats real quick.
All right.
Realistically, from an outsider's perspective, somebody who roots against them, they had the success where they had Brady, and in the beginning of his career, I think the team was really more predicated on their defense. Then they had that stretch where Welker was there, and all he did was catch a million balls.
And Randy Moss.
And Randy Moss, and then they never won a title with Moss.
No, which is a crime. But go ahead.
And then they went to this 2 tight end system, which kind of really revolutionized.
One was a murderer.
Well, you can't all be good guys. And then
it was a merger.
But so
yeah, you're the one that should go solo.
Really, the point is, from my perspective, they've reinvented themselves countless times. So there's really not one formula.
No, there's not. And I don't think football should ever have one formula. I think the game is constantly evolving. I think you have to evolve with it. But you're constant there are 2 things. They're Brady and Belichick. You got a head coach who knows how to scheme and knows how to plan, and then knows the right people to hire to
help him cheat,
to fill in the voids of the things that he doesn't know. An underrated move that the Pats did this year was they brought back Belichick convinced his last name Skarnecki to come back and coach the offensive line, and he was in retirement because Belichick was dissatisfied with the line play. And I gotta say, their offensive line this year, it's completely different. It's like night and day. Brady has time to move in the pocket if he wants to, which he's doing a lot more this year than he almost ever has. I don't have numbers to back that up, but I see him on the move this year a lot more than I've seen him in the past. Not like anything special, but just
I want to jump off something you said there and move away from your awful football team to talk about
who are 16.5 point favorites. Who are 16.5 point favorites at home against your beloved Jets.
As you're I promise not to cut you off.
Whatever the line is, you should take the Pats and take the over.
Oh, it's so big. 16.5.
They're going to single-handedly take the over themselves because the Jets are that
43.5. All right, I'll take it.
But he brought up something that I know you and I want to talk about, Yampo, and that's the offensive line. So
I love the offensive line.
We had talked a couple weeks ago, and you and I, and I think Paul too, were really the only 3 that were on board with the offensive line being a huge important piece to the puzzle here. You look around the league, that the teams that have the best records in the league, they all have dominating offensive lines. So the Pats are no different.
With the exception of the Giants.
Yeah, but
They're an anomaly.
They are. It's weird. They're good, and I find so many parts of them that are weak. It's really weird. They're a good football team, man. I
don't know how, but they're you live and die by the offensive line.
I don't think they are a football team. You're a Giant fan. You think they're a good football team right now?
I don't. I'm like I don't know. I don't know how they're 10-4, but they are. And I'm going into the Lions Den Thursday. I'll be in Philly. It's going to be dangerous.
I'm pretty sure you said this last week, Campo. You were like, they're bucking the trend defensively. Everything's worked out for them. That's how they're winning this. A $200 million free agent spending spree on a defense. And it's working. It's all working. Your offense, you're putting up like 10 points a game.
Yeah, it's funny.
Which is pretty sad.
They haven't scored over 28 points all season.
No, they haven't scored 30 all year.
6 or 7 times. They did that like 6 times last year. It's the same offense. Nobody's changed.
When you bring in the $1 million man Ted DiBiase to throw some money around in the offseason, buy that defense for you, that's kind of what happens.
No.
Everybody's got a price, including Snacks Harrison, who I heard today apparently cried when he realized he was leaving the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because
that happened.
Dude, he is a machine. How do you let that guy walk? That guy just eats people up in the middle, legitimately. Not to harbor on the pun, but that guy is a beast.
He was definitely the guy to keep on that line. Between him or Wilkerson. I would have franchised Wilkerson again, and I would have traded Richardson because he's a piece of crap.
Yeah, he's got to go, huh? Do you think?
Oh my God, yeah. You kidding me? He had to go before this year. I don't know what they were.
And then that Snapchat this week, did you see that? Was that him, Richardson?
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah. That
you got a great squad, Jeff. You got a great squad.
That's the Jets, man. Like right now, the Giants are, what are they, 10-4?
Yeah.
The Giants are 10-4, and people everywhere are still talking about the stupid Jets.
That's because the Giants are the most unimpressive 10-4 I think I can remember in recent history. It's like whatever. What makes me nervous
right now? Who do you think right now in the NFC is legitimately better than them? Better than the Giants?
As of today.
As of right now.
Dallas.
I think Dallas is a better team. Somehow they beat them. They beat them twice.
There's no way.
But there's no way you beat a team 3 times in a year.
Oh, it's so hard. I think I don't want to go to Atlanta and play in the Dome, and I don't want to go to Green Bay and play the Packers at home with Aaron Rodgers feeling it.
I'll tell you right now, you guys can crush Atlanta.
We beat
Atlanta
is terrible. But Atlanta inside. I'd rather go to Detroit and play the Lions.
Yeah, and you could beat the Lions. And the Packers, yes, that would be tough. I don't think you want to have yourself in a position in the playoffs where you want to have to win at Lambeau and have to win at Seattle.
No, I don't want to do that either.
That would be super tough. I think those 2 teams are,
but they got to score more points if they want to make any noise. That's the end. I mean, that's all there is to it. The defense is only going to get you so far. It's a bend, not break type situation. I mean, look at how lucky they got early in the game last week. They threw, who was it? Stafford threw the ball to Golden Tate. And that's my fantasy football name, Golden Taint. And DRC catches him at the 10, and then, next play, the guy fumbles. Well, what happens if the guy doesn't fumble? Maybe they score, game changes. It's a bend, not break situation. They just haven't broken the last couple of weeks, but that's going to change. You can't do that forever.
No, but you can definitely do it to the NFC title game.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
And once
we'll find out.
All bets are off.
You are. Then it comes down to, 1, hopefully 2 Sundays.
Speaking of bets, is it time? Is it time for some locks?
Oh, sure.
You ready for some locks?
Please, for the Facebook Live community, for all 7 people.
for Bill Berlin, Brendan Berlin's dad watching. Here's a lock for you.
All right.
Giants -2.5 at the Eagles. Not touching it. Not touching it.
So it's not really a lock.
No, your lock is going to be Tom Savage of Rutgers fame.
No. Okay.
Can we do Macho Man Tom Savage? Can that be what we call him though?
Brock Osweiler, take a seat, because Tom Savage from is coming home to roost. Okay? Houston Texans -1.5, home against the Bungles. Lock it in. winner of the week. And as John Anthony used to say for Jim Sirocco, I played the game. I know the players. If you guys haven't seen Two for the Money, you need to watch Two for the Money.
Tom Savage, too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
How mad are you if you're Brock Osweiler?
I don't know. I got $7 billion coming to me to not play football.
That's just so like John Elway is just sitting back laughing like you assholes.
He almost paid him too.
Yeah, Elway's not succeeding right now. So
Elway,
he's stuck with a shitty quarterback too.
yeah, but he won a ring. He won a ring.
Yeah, he did.
That buys you so much time. It bought
It definitely does.
Giants, the last couple of years that were trash.
What?
Reese. Yeah.
Yeah, he's garbage. He needs to go.
Yeah, but he's not going to after this year because everybody.
Don't you love that?
Everybody he took a flyer on this year has come up.
But then yet you get a guy like Gus Bradley who goes like 4-75, and then they finally can him in the middle of the season. Well, no, the end of the season, but whatever.
What do you think about that? You think
I don't know. I think it's weird to get rid of a coach the last couple games of the season. Just if you're gonna 2-3 games left, what are they trying to do? Do the interim thing and figure it out? Because the Rams want to go after Gruden. There's talk about Jacksonville going after Coughlin.
I think that makes total sense.
Don't you really?
You really don't think that makes sense?
I mean, he coached them, so it's not like it doesn't make sense. He's so old.
He's not that old.
If he comes back, he'll be the oldest coach, right? Again,
he's like 70 years old. That's not young.
Listen, my dad's 74. He ain't old.
No, I'm not saying your dad's old, but I also don't be like, Dad, your dad's not going to go coach the Giants.
You don't know that. He actually might be coaching the Hillside, whatever their nickname is. I don't know what their nickname is.
Sound like Rough Riders and say, what do you think?
Newark. Was it West Side?
I think it was West Side.
Do you think anybody in
Clifford
Newark's
Scott?
listening to our show? Clifford Scott.
West Side is the I don't know, it's East Side, the Ghosts, right?
Hey, isn't it a kick in the balls that Sean Farrell is busy tonight, but he can't join the podcast, but he can join and watch and heckle from a distance?
Oh,
that's
certainly.
Kind of brutal.
I expect nothing less.
Kind of brutal.
I hope he calls in.
Me too.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, so NFC playoff picture. I think I was happy that the Redskins got beat last night. I enjoyed that. This town is a much better town to be in when the Redskins lose. As a Giants fan, I'd like to see the Giants go take care of their business Thursday, obviously, because I'm going to be there. But it'd be good for them to just win and be done. They're in. If they lose, there's 4 individual games that if one of those teams loses, they're in. So they're pretty much a lock. AFC picture, Brett.
Yeah,
I think wow, Kansas City really shit the bed, huh?
Yeah, that was I can't figure out still, and I watched most of the game. Can't figure out how the Titans won that game. I just
ask any Eagles fan; they'll tell you.
I just have no idea how that happened. But I swear, just watching. The next thing I know, somehow Mariota's hanging in there. Tennessee's had some pretty impressive wins. I think they beat the Raiders last week, right? I think
they beat the Broncos, and I lost $200, and it was your fault.
They beat the Broncos.
Time out. Yampo, are you really all that surprised that an Andy Reid coach team found a way to lose a game that they should have won?
Kind of, because it's not the playoffs yet. The game. I mean, I don't know.
but essentially, it is for them, right? I mean, they're in must-win games because
they're good. They're good because the Broncos are done. The Broncos are toast.
Yeah, the Broncos are done. I completely agree with that. You got.
The Trevor Siemian project is over.
I think it looks. I mean, a big game on Christmas Day this week coming up between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. That is pretty much going to decide their division.
I don't understand at all how anybody could be on the Baltimore bandwagon. They are a garbage football team.
They're not good. I agree with you. They're not good. I would love, but I don't know.
Joe Flacco kind of reminds me of Eli Manning at times, right? Sometimes he looks like lights out, and then other times he looks like he forgot how to throw a football.
That Super Bowl run when they won a quarterback play that way from the beginning of the playoffs through the Super Bowl game, Flacco was unreal that postseason.
It was very much like Eli. It was very much.
Yeah, but you know how like Eli will do it in a big moment in big games in Super Bowls.
Against the
Flacco
Patriots
did it
twice.
Yes, and whatever.
Yeah, that could happen twice.
I love all
Flacco
those.
was
I love all those NFL
incredible.
memes. Tom Brady. Whatever. Fuck it. Sorry, Brett.
No, it's okay. It's all right.
The language tonight has totally gone off the rails.
Yeah, it's done. Sorry. It's the Christmas ale. It's getting to my head.
It must be.
20 pounds of pumpkin.
Ho ho ho.
Before we, I guess, bail out of the NFL, the one thing I did want to bring up, and again, we haven't had this conversation yet, so I don't know where you guys stand on it. The whole Cam Newton always looking for flags on late hits. Do you have a take, either of you?
Yes, I
right.
definitely do.
What do you got?
It's weird. I'm gonna be a jerk here and kind of say both sides. And I guess talk about my take at the end of it. But I understand. I don't think he's getting enough calls. But there was one last night, right? Was the game last night?
Yeah, last.
Where okay, so he was running out of bounds, and I think out of bounds, and he got hit.
Not running out of bounds at all.
Not running out of bounds when he got hit in the head, but on the play where he got hit in the head, and then it looks like he didn't. In live motion, it looks like he didn't get hit in the head.
Yes.
And then on slow motion replay, it looks like he got hit in the head.
He started to slide.
Right. He's all right. Yeah, he started to slide. So when things like that happen, I don't think refs are maliciously being like, I'm not going to make the call on Cam. When you slow it down, it looks like he got hit in the head, but in live speed, it really didn't. Now, there's also a lot of times where Cam, there's designed running plays for him. And guess what happens when you are a designed runner? You're a running back, and running backs can get hit in the head. That's just the way it goes. So if you're going to treat yourself as part of that position, then sometimes you have to suffer the consequences that go along with it. So I do think that there is he could get better calls, but he subjects himself to a lot of it. So I guess buyer beware, you know?
I have to say the whole like hitting the guy in the helmet, you know, the incidental grazing or the guy's got his hands up to knock the pass down. I mean, this game's so fast. I just hate when you get a 15-yard penalty for that. And it's like not a blow to the head, but just like
just a touch
like
to
a
the
pat.
head.
Like
I
what
can't
you used
stand
to do
that
to me
either.
after I had like 17 beers. You used to just like rub my head like this. It drives me nuts. It's so frustrating. These guys are playing football, for Christ's sake. I get it, the concussion situation, but there was a play last night where Kirk Cousins was running and he wasn't out of bounds yet. And the guy from the Panthers shoved him as he was going out of bounds. And of course, Kirk, went like 2-3 yards out of bounds and slid and fell, took out a cheerleader. And the guy's like, oh, flag.
That happens every week.
He was still in bounds. He was still in bounds.
Exactly happens every week.
It's
And they
just
throw the
garbage.
flag every week. And it's very frustrating.
There was
That's the league now.
I want to say it was like 10 plus years ago where we had a stretch where like 3 or 4 of the top quarterbacks in the league got hurt in the same year. And that's when all this nonsense started, right? Because they started to play games where 3 or 4 of the best quarterbacks in the league were not there. And then the backup quarterback play was so bad. But Yampo, run through it with me. If you were to name me like 5 quarterbacks where they're legitimate running threats every game, who are we talking about here?
Cam, Russell Wilson, RG3,
Well,
when he's healthy.
yeah, I mean,
And that's Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. So let's just use those 3. Who else? Is there anybody else that jumps off the page immediately? Would you consider Dak a threat like that or no?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I haven't seen enough of his body of work, if you will. I hate that term.
Mariota?
Kaepernick, Mariota.
Okay, so you
Anybody
Carr-
who's black
Carr
or half black,
sometimes
no?
moves.
it's terrible. You have like 6 or 7 guys that are legitimate running threats with the ball, right? At a quarterback spot.
No, let's say a third of the teams have running quarterback. That's fair.
All right.
10.
So legitimately, and maybe I'm wrong, but this is my take on the whole thing. I think that there's absolutely reason to treat those guys differently when they're carrying the ball down the field than a guy like Brady.
Well, listen,
A guy like Brady, if he scrambles for 12 yards, he's not going to make a move and get somebody to.
No, he's not juking you out.
He's not going to fake like he's going to give himself up and then not give himself up. He's going to give himself up. So if you hit him in the head, you deserve to be flagged. A guy like Cam Newton, he can make one move and take it to the house. So these guys should get hit. Like enough with this nonsense of, oh, he was giving himself up and he got hit in the head. Like enough. If that's part of your game and that's part of what makes you the MVP of the league and makes you all the money you make, You have to be willing to take the hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with you on that. I don't think you can change the rule for a certain amount of guys. There's already enough inconsistency as it is, so whatever. And yes, Johnny, we know there's only 6 people watching. Smart ass.
Here we have another.
I think I'll have myself a beer. I think I'll have myself a
All right, Brett.
What's up, dude?
Since Yampo yelled at his buddy and then ran away
And then left.
what are you drinking tonight?
I'm having a beer from. I didn't even know we were going to do this, so I'm a little nervous.
F the rules. That's
So I forgot we're going back to the rules. By Departed Souls Brewing in Jersey City.
Yummy.
Dita Lee D IPA.
What did you rate it as? Was you checked it into your Untapped?
I believe 3.25.
And where do we find you on Untapped? Just out of curiosity.
That's a solid question.
No idea. It's definitely the social media platform you spend the most time.
Oh my god! And I can't retweet your beer tweets. It's so annoying.
Yeah, because my tweets are private, so you can't.
You're annoying. That's not the point of being on Twitter.
I don't remember my Untapped name. It might just be my name. No, I don't think is it on Untapped?
No, I think it's just Brett Matizak. I think it's just
I think it's just my name. So this is all right. This beer from Departed Souls, I haven't had a lot of stuff from them. It's an IPA, but it's pretty malty, and I'm not a big fan of malty IPAs. I like that.
Kind of goes against the grain, right?
Yeah. Sometimes when you have them, it reminds me of a taste of a beer that's sitting too long. Like it's
hold on,
just
Brett,
all malt.
do you know this guy, John, that Yampo's been going back?
No.
He just legitimately
Brett should drink bleach. Now, listen, this guy's just so you know, this guy is a total savage. Okay,
I like him.
He had. Okay, no, Johnny, it's on now. It's coming. It's all coming out right now on the podcast for the 6 viewers. He had his gastric bypass. Okay, and he proceeds to eat things like, let's order shrimp tempura or vegetable tempura, and pull off all the tempura breading and eat that, and not the vegetables or the shrimp. Let's get a pizza with cheese and pull off all the cheese and eat bread with tomato sauce. The guy is a certified asshole from Milltown, New Jersey.
That's disgusting.
He's a slob. You're a slob, Johnny.
That was pretty funny. Drink bleach.
All I know is you're talking about your beer, and I look over to read the Facebook Live. He just says that you should drink bleach.
Oh, Johnny.
I wish I was watching Facebook. I'm going to look at Facebook Live.
Yeah, but
oh, boy.
From
the boiler room, Freddy Krueger.
Got it. It's better than Jeff's dungeon.
Where the hell is that? Is that like your condo? Like
we have Mick Foley calling from the boiler room.
Hey, Sean, save me, buddy. Somebody told me I need to drink bleach.
What?
Are you out of breath?
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in my father-in-law's basement, his dwelling.
Where?
Similar to yours, Jeff.
In Appalachia? Like, where are you?
Connecticut.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, you're on the East Coast.
Yeah, man.
You want to come down to DC?
You're talking no.
Oh, okay.
You were talking trash, so I
saw you creeping.
Yeah, first I wanted to give you a quick correction. It was the West Side Rough Riders. They changed their name.
Thank you.
And I also wanted to give a quick update that the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are on top of Memphis at the moment.
Oh, the Boca Raton Bowl. Lovely.
Big time. Big time.
Very important, because we couldn't go a week without talking about college football.
What a joke that is.
if that's what we could call that, college football.
I've got a topic for you if you want to talk about one.
Are you, first of all, well, we're in halftime right now. Are you drinking anything or no?
I'm not, no. But this is perfect time for me to interrupt then, because you guys never say anything important anyway.
No.
Oh, okay.
We don't.
Yeah. I assume this hasn't been discussed yet, but did you guys chat at all about all the kids not playing in bowl games?
No, because it's not news.
We did talk about the NBA guys taking time off, so that does kind of coincide with that.
Wow, what a segue.
Yeah. No,
well, before we go to that segment, I'm having a beer.
Okay.
It's not about you, Sean.
It's always about me.
It's about Johnny Mac. and his terrible jokes and making fun of my friend Brett. Anchor Steam Christmas tree.
Yeah, how's it going for you?
Overpriced, terrible beer.
Great. That's why you should stick with the Miller Lights.
And I am actually drinking, and I'm going to show it up here. I don't know if you've had this yet.
God, yeah, it's so bad.
The
I can't imagine they made a beer that tastes like a cookie.
The New Belgium Ben & Jerry's chocolate chip cookie dough ale.
That sounds awful.
If you didn't have diabetes before, you should really drink it and get some.
Or go to a Devil's game with Brett and get a Mrs. Fields
Diabetes sandwich.
Diabetes sandwich.
Well, it's surprisingly, Brett, you've had it? It surprisingly tastes like chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream.
Yeah, it does. It does.
All right, well, good beer segment, guys. We really killed the beer segment.
That was good.
I'm not feeling well because I just drank a bucket of bleach.
Bucket of bleach. We're going to rename that segment the Clorox Bucket of Bleach Challenge.
Yeah.
And all right, Sean. So thanks for jumping on and proposing this. What's your take on the fact that these kids are blowing off bowl games?
I don't like it. I think they should play, man. Like, you're a college athlete, you should play. And what hasn't been discussed a lot in the media has been the fact that these schools and players, like high value players, actually have insurance policies against them in case they do get hurt. And in these exact situations, they would get covered for their draft value. So I don't know why they wouldn't play. If you're any competitive athlete,
hold on.
You want to be in there.
We got to talk about that real quick.
Rewind that statement. They have insurance policies and they would get compensated for their draft value. What does that mean?
You're telling me if the number one pick goes down, he's going to get $42 million via
so the school can take one out against him, and then it's tough because not a lot of kids. It's a high premium that you pay for it, but schools take them out for certain athletes, and then the student athlete can take one out for themselves too.
But how much is it? How much would it really total if the number one pick went down? Playing in the bowl game.
If they got paid, like if the insurance policy paid out.
Yes, if the insurance policy paid out.
It would depend on the injury, but I would say it would probably compensate for the difference in draft spot that they would have had versus.
Was that around when McGahee? Did that happen to McGahee?
No, it was the dude from South Carolina that went to the Niners. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. He tore his knee up like 3 times.
McGahee was definitely the guy that I was thinking.
Jadeveon Clowney?
No.
Running
back.
Who cares?
All right. So
yeah, I think you want to. Yeah. Anyway, I think you want to play your last game with your boys.
Yeah, but okay. Let me challenge you on this one. Yeah, you want to play your last game with your boys, right? I'll buy that. But you have a lot of money at stake, a future at stake, and you're playing in the Alamo Toilet Bowl. Who cares? Yeah. You're not playing in a playoff. You're not playing in an important bowl game, a premier bowl game. Like, this is garbage. Like tomorrow, the Poinsettia Bowl. Who cares? Who cares?
It's a college experience, man.
My college experience was a lot better than that. I'll tell you that much.
I guess I don't know.
If you're a first round pick, and this bowl game you're playing doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
All right, and I get it. The team player thing, I totally buy into that, and it's something to question. But you've got agents, you've got parents, you got people saying, "Hey, if you blow out your knee, you're not going to get drafted, and you're not buying that car or the house. You're not going to have the money. You're not going to have the opportunity to play. You're going to blow it." I don't know. Just a thought.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I completely lied. I agree with you guys. I just wanted to make good podcast talk because we never disagree with each other. And
don't leave.
Good topic of discussion.
Well, don't leave because I think we should do some college football picks.
No, my battery's running low.
Nope, gotta go in a tunnel. Sorry,
okay,
break it up. Bye.
What's that?
No, wait, come on. Just hold on and wait.
I'm going through it. Sorry.
I really do have 10%, but if you have a question,
I do have a question here. I do have a question.
Yeah,
because I heard this, and it's aside from what you were just talking about, but I think it's in the same lane. I read or I heard somewhere that Jay Billis's kid goes to Kentucky. Did you hear this?
No.
So his kid goes to Kentucky, and he's apparently the student body president, and he gets paid.
The student body president does?
He gets paid like $8,000 to be the student body president.
Oh,
okay.
And I had never heard anything like that before, right? So now the student body president of at University of Kentucky is getting paid $8,000, but none of those basketball players are getting.
Is the
I mean,
student
they
body
are-
president also get a free ride?
I have no idea. I would imagine that Jay Billis's kid, probably doesn't need a full ride, but
Yeah, I think college is taken care of either way, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but
I
you'd be
I don't know
surprised how many of those kids do get full rides.
Well, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
it's
Like,
good
it might be an
publicity.
it might be an academic full ride. You know what I mean? I'm not entirely sure, but either way, the fact that there's a stipend for student government at this school, but we can't figure out a way to pay student athletes. That struck me as odd.
Yeah, that's a tough one to swallow, especially since they're probably not bringing in too much revenue to the university.
The student government.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the debate club's pretty interesting.
You don't think the concert that they're throwing on the green at the University of Kentucky with like the hippies and their hula hoops is
Bring your hacky sacks.
Sean, and your devil stick. Sean, how much better do you have now? 8%?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 questions. One, my one buddy wants to know when Jason Witten joined the podcast. Secondly,
Great.
did you see that Alabama line? It's moving the other way.
It's going. I saw it go down to 14. Or Johnny
Ah,
Dwight man was telling me it got down to 14.5.
I know the white man bought it at 14.5 like a week and a half ago. I hopped
And you
on
were
it
up
at
at
16,
Yeah.
and now it's at 15.
I wonder if like the Kiffin conversation has anything to do with that. I know Washington. They've got a great wide receiver. They've got a great defense. Some good quarterback, and I can't imagine what's changed in that time other than Kiffin drawing that line in the opposite direction. But either way, you made a bad decision.
Oh, okay. I think you hop on it at 15. Those of you out there, Alabama, Washington.
I don't think
It's
Take
gonna
it
be.
I don't think
They're gonna get wrecked, dude.
They're gonna get
You're gonna be
killed.
fine.
hold off on it because we do have another week before that game. So I want to go heavy next week on college football.
All right, I'm out, boys. Enjoy the rest
All
of the
right, Sean.
show.
Thanks for jumping on, man.
Yeah, enjoy
Hey,
those.
go get
Enjoy
some
those
Mystic-
crappy beers.
Go get some Mystic
All right,
Pizza.
Bye bye.
Mystic Pizza. Later.
Whatever.
See, Jason Witten. Wow, it's great to have him on the podcast.
Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer, I think.
Future Hall of Fame.
University of Tennessee, giant killer.
And Ugg and Tug dealer owner.
He's very influential in Texas.
I wish that the Facebook Live was a little more like there wasn't so much of a delay. Well, there's not that much of a delay, but if these guys could give us real questions instead of just heckling the crap out of us,
Well, maybe we'll try to get that for the next time.
maybe
Try to figure it out. So all you clowns that are listening
from Milltown.
or watching, Pat Grove. Sorry, this blows for you. I don't know.
Pat Groves is watching. Oh my dude, Milltown is just representing. There's 5 people from Milltown watching this.
It's good to know. It's good to know.
Scumbags.
All right. Let's segue away from Sean's little topic there. I'm gonna give you guys a couple of minutes on your favorite sport.
Oh,
A little bit about.
high lie.
We're going to talk a little bit about greyhound racing.
Perfect.
No, we're going to talk a little bit about the NHL. The extent of my NHL knowledge is that the Devils are really friggin' bad. So I guess why don't you guys jump off from there? Why are they so bad? Is there any hope to turn?
I think the correction, they're not really they're not the worst team in the NHL by
Someone-
far.
Yeah, they're not that bad.
But they can't win a game right now to save their lives. I think they've lost 6 in a row, Yampa?
Yeah. The part of the problem is the Metropolitan Division is.
That's not part of the problem. I mean,
well, it is part of the problem because if you look at 33 points, 31 points, I think they have 31. 31 points, you'd be in contention. You'd be in the discussion in the West. But the Metropolitan Division is just on fire right now.
yeah, there's a lot of really great teams, but I mean, we're not beating, the Nashville Predators, who are.
Well, we beat them at home. We're not beating them now.
No, we're losing to them right now. We're getting.
Yeah,
We're not beating average teams. I feel like Ottawa's like being a thorn in our side. It's kind of frustrating. There's no. I was saying to you earlier today. There's no, all 3 phases of the game. I thought aren't really very well. You counter, offense, defense, and the goalie, but you countered back with, goalie's been fine. Do you think that they've just given up too many opportunities defensively? Is that a part of losing Larson in the trade for Hall?
No, I don't. I think they have enough defense. I think I was listening to Ken Danico the other night, and he was talking about that they're just pressing too hard to try and make the perfect pass, the perfect play, and they just need to get back to what's that?
Do that in a Ken Danico drunk. Because that would be fantastic.
I used to see Ken Danico just shit hammered at Mezzanote in Montclair. God, that guy was a waste case. I loved it. But I think they're just pressing. They're trying so hard to make perfect passes. They just need to play hockey, and so they're having a lot of turnovers and spend a lot of time in their own zone. And you know what? The goalie can only do so much. As a goalie, I say that because I'm a terrible goalie, but the goalie can only do so much. I think the Metropolitan Division is on fire. The Devils are going to have to catch a little bit of fire and start winning some games because those teams ahead of them aren't going to be able to win. Columbus has won 9 in a row.
Flyers
won 10. They won 10 of their last 11.
Yeah.
Well, you look at the Metropolitan Division, and from a point standpoint, the Carolinas 6th in the Metropolitan Division. They got 33 points. That's as good as the 4th place team in the Atlantic. So it's.
But that's what I'm saying.
It's clearly out of balance there in the East.
Yeah, the division's good. Yeah.
That was the expectation for that division when they realigned them a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that was the frustrating. I hated the realignment a couple of years ago when it happened because I looked at the teams and I'm like, are you kidding me? You're sticking us with Pittsburgh and the Rangers and the Capitals. Like these teams are good and they're going to be good for a while. It doesn't, the Flyer, it doesn't lead us it doesn't do us any good being in that division. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but the Rangers are playing good hockey and their goaltending is on point and they're scoring a lot of goals, so they're playing well. Pittsburgh's playing well, defending the cup, and the Islanders, the other local team, they're trash. They're total garbage.
Yeah, they're bad.
I know they only have maybe 3 or 4 points less than the Devils.
Is that just
I think 3.
What's that?
A youth problem with the Islanders? Like, are they too young? Are they inexperienced?
They just let too many good guys walk in free agency.
If you did pay attention to hockey over the past couple of years, one guy every couple months was gone on the Islanders, and it slowly just picked away until it was like just John Tavares and Matt Martin left, right? Opozo left.
Well, the good thing is that they at least still have their stadium on Long Island, right?
Yeah, totally. That's working out for. That's got to be a huge regret for them sitting in Brooklyn right now.
It's all because apparently the stadium number 1 wasn't built for hockey.
No,
at all. So like, I don't know. Like I just don't understand at all how they couldn't have made that work.
Over under 7 years before they're back on Long Island.
That's where they belong. They don't belong in Brooklyn.
I don't think so either. So what do you think?
With a big Honda Pilot sitting in the corner of the freaking ice.
Yeah, I know. It looks so awkward.
It's ridiculous.
I take the under on that.
You take the under, Yampos, over.
I don't know. It takes from a real estate perspective, since that's what I do. It takes it could take 4 to 5 years for all the entitlements to find land, to get approvals, to get it funded, and then 2 years to build it. I mean, I'm going to take the over.
Well, okay. I guess maybe I should adjust that. When you ask the question, do you mean 7.5 years until they're playing on the island, or until they've made?
I don't. I never thought that specifically about it, but I was
because I agree with you, yeah. But I think obviously the red tape, especially in this part of the country, is just out of control.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why they weren't there anymore.
You know what else goes with 7? As Jim Sirocco is reminding us on Facebook Live, the amount of goals I gave up per game in college, 7. And the amount of beers I dumped on my head during stoppages, 7.5. Just not accurate.
Good lines.
Okay, that's good.
Hockey. You love hockey. For the casual hockey fans, 2 little fun games coming up on January 1, January 2nd. Outdoor game, the Winter Classic, January 2nd at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. I think it's the Blackhawks and the Blues.
Is that always on the 2nd? I always
thought that was it's on the 2nd because of football.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And we had that 4 years ago, too. And then the 1st is actually the Toronto Centennial outdoor game against the Red Wings. So I don't know if that should be broadcast probably on NBC Sportsnet. But if you're a casual fan and you like the Winter Classic, it should be pretty cool to see the rink set up at Busch Stadium.
Dude, do you remember a couple of years ago, Dave, that game in Yankee Stadium, Devils Rangers?
God, it was so cold.
That honestly, I swear to you, might have been the coldest I've ever been in my life.
That was a lot of fun. That was the only time I think Rangers and Devils fans, we were getting along because we were so cold and so drunk.
It was brutal. And the Devils got hammered that game.
Cats and dogs living together.
Oh, mass hysteria. I remember I hopped out of the Uber because I had to pee so bad. And then I ran around the stadium and couldn't find a urinal.
That sounds unlike you. I thought pee in the Uber.
Well, my wife was there. Future wife.
Oh, she wasn't your wife? That's a good thing you got out of the car.
I don't remember. Yeah, whatever. She was there.
All right. I'm I'm done with hockey. So I had sent a text to you guys, and we'll close out real quickly with this during the Kentucky UNC basketball game. Just a crazy game. You know, Monk goes off for 47 points in a college basketball game. The score 103-100 in regulation for a college basketball game. You just don't see that all that often. Did either of you catch that game?
I saw 0% of it.
I saw negative.
So you guys
0%.
You guys bring nothing to the table.
Zero. So have at it.
Have you spent any time watching any college hoops yet?
I've watched 2 games.
What have you seen?
I can't even remember. There was an upset a couple 2 weeks ago that we were talking. Like you had texted us in the thread. I don't even remember the teams.
Probably UCLA when they beat Kentucky.
Yeah, that was it actually. And I watched one other random, I think Ohio State basketball game. I'm not positive if it was them.
I've watched 2.
What have you seen?
Michigan State.
Go green.
Go white. Michigan State. What was it? Kansas? What was at the Garden?
The coaches versus cancer game.
Yeah,
I'm not sure who they played this year.
It was, I think it was Kentucky maybe because Kansas beat Duke. But anyway, I watched that game, and then I watched UNC Indiana. So I had a couple buddies here who are Tar Heels, and they went out for the game. And I had no idea. Did you guys know that Gene Steratore also does some college basketball games? You guys know who Gene Steratore is?
No.
One of the famed NFL refs. Are you kidding me?
Really? He's a ref? All I know is Ed Hockley.
Does he referee the basketball games with a cutoff T-shirt?
No. Listen, I thought it was an interesting little factoid. I had no idea that Gene Steratore, who's been doing NFL games for 15 years, did college basketball a handful of times.
Think he ever gets confused with the hand gestures when he makes a call?
Potentially.
Holding 15.
Anyway.
10 yards. I mean, shooting 2.
So college basketball flop.
Anyway, no, not a flop.
No.
If you look at the top 25, there's really not a whole lot of surprises there. We're not looking at any of the local teams that are necessarily in the top 25, although you are getting some votes for like a team like Seton Hall's getting 15 votes, so they may find themselves climbing into the top 25 before all is said and done there, before March rolls around. But you got a team like Villanova. I've seen them play a couple of times when they were playing locally here in New Jersey. They made a pretty remarkable comeback to take that game. They're still 11-0. Conference play is about to begin, and typically old school Big East conference play was just brutal. Now it's kind of transitioned itself over to the ACC because a lot of those former Big East teams now find themselves in the ACC. So we'll see. You've got Duke, you've got Carolina, you've got all your normal powerhouses are still within the top 10. So it should be a really interesting stretch here coming up after the college football bowl games. We can kind of dive in a little bit more into college basketball. But right now, Villanova sits atop the land at 11-0, and UCLA is at their heels at 12-0. So,
I mean, one of our viewers looking for a Cal Poly Washington U pick for tonight. Line is 15, minus 15 Washington.
Yeah, I think you should jump on that, right?
I have no idea. I mean, Cal Poly? I have no idea. Richie, you got to figure that out yourself. Sorry, pal.
That is a serious gambling problem.
Yeah, this is the Milltown crew. And Pat asking us when we're taking our shirts off. But hey, there's 2 things we didn't talk about that I want to talk about real quick.
Are either of them Gerard Cafaro, who just joined the Facebook Live? Because if they are, I'm interested.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, you should.
Gus Bradley flying back with the team after getting fired. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
Did they make him sit with the steward staff?
No, and it's funny because some of the players were like, "It was weird. I didn't like it. It wasn't right." Like, okay, what? What are you gonna leave the guy?
I mean, there are other airplanes.
I guess it's just kind of weird. And then
that's why I think it's weird.
Don't move on. What would you have done?
What would I have done, or what would he have done?
No, yeah, but what would you have done?
I mean, am I Gus Bradley?
No, if you're the owner, number one, do you wait till you get home to fire the guy?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would have just said, "Hey, why don't you hop on my plane? Let's have a convo on the way home," and then fire him right as you're pushing him off the plane.
Right.
Yeah, it's just weird. Would you fire him in the locker room for crying out loud? Anyway, he deserved it.
How was he told?
Vince McMahon style. He was like, "You're fired.
You're fired."
He's like, you can keep your job if you."
By the way, did you see Trump? Did he pick Linda McMahon to run something?
Yeah, she's on something.
What the fuck is going on here?
That's good.
Okay, cool. Well, when she opens up WWE DC, then that'll be great.
I just think it opens up an opportunity during like some international meeting for Trump to take out a steel chair and hit some other leader in the head.
Oh, if it gets Stephanie McMahon down here, I'm all for it.
Good God Almighty! That killed him.
JR here. Too soon?
That's a good Jim Ross right there. That was good.
It's the Stone Cold Stunner. Oh God, I can't go back to those days.
Good. What was your last point? You had something else.
We made it through the entire podcast without talking about the Giants walkie-talkie gate because it's not a fucking story, and nobody cares.
It is a story.
No, it's not. They're doing the Giants a favor by pushing their 4th-round pick down.
Yeah, somehow that'll work out for them.
Totally.
They did get fined, right?
Yeah. $150K and
McAdoo got fined $50.
Creepy mustache guy got $50K.
Yeah.
Can we get that guy a pair of like clothes that fits?
Oh my God! I actually, these guys should have to go back to wearing
these hot guys.
These hot guys
guys.
The coaches should have to go back to wearing something.
Didn't Del Rio rock a suit a couple years ago? And
they don't have to wear a suit, but Belichick looks like a bum when he's wearing cutoffs. And McAdoo looks like Andy Reid wearing his onesies in the one. It's just weird. They should have some kind of. They have uniform rules for the players. They should have some for the coaches.
But they all.
What do you want them to wear? What do you want coaches to wear?
I want Andy Reid to wear that big pink bunny onesie from A Christmas Story. That's what I want him to wear.
And also, Ben McAdoo was getting crushed because he was walking in. NFL Game Day was doing the players walking in, and they got McAdoo walking in, and he was wearing like jeans and a oversized sweatshirt from the Gap from like '85.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Hey, McAdoo, clean it up." And then Jim Ross went like this.
It's good. The people are clamoring for the Jim Ross face. For those of you, that are listening,
Jim Ross.
For those of you that have downloaded the podcast, not live, be sure to tune in to the Facebook Live broadcast to see more things like Yampo's Jim Ross face, because nothing says class like making fun of somebody with Bell's palsy.
And a pink button down in your child's playroom.
All right, let's wrap up shop. Boys, anything else you want to discuss, Brett?
I'm good. No, I got nothing. Devils just went down 4-0 on a late power play goal in the third.
Good stuff.
Sweet night for them.
Yeah, but you threw your 2 out. You got anything else?
That's it. I mean, Richard Sherman being a baby again. I don't know. That's it.
Okay. Listen, make sure you check us out on all social media, Turn 2 Podcast. You could also email us, turn2podcast@gmail.com, or you can feel free to mention anything to us on Facebook or any of that stuff. We can kind of adjust from there. Quick shout out this week for those of you that are local to New Jersey or especially the Jersey Shore. The band Ed Tang and the Chops that are our opening and closing music is provided by. They are doing a reunion show over at PK Shamrocks down here in Belmar on the 23rd, so on Friday. So if you are around for the holiday, you can be sure to drop on by and you can buy me a Miller Lite. That would be much appreciated.
What bar? What bar?
PK Shamrocks down here in the Jersey Shore.
Have you ever been to Edgar's?
I have been to Edgar's. Yeah,
one of my people here in DC. It's their brother's bar up there in Belmar. Great story, Dave. Tell it again later.
That was good. But anyway, Ed Tang and the Chops. Give him some love. If you're in town, please stop by and we'll make that happen. And then the next time we talk to you will be our closing show for 2016. Thanks for checking us out. Thanks for sharing it. Much love to Utah. Much love to California. Much love to Hawaii, where we're getting all listeners. So spread the word if you can. We definitely appreciate it, and we are growing to a national audience.
Desperandum, dear lady. Across the desert lies the promised land.
See ya.
Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop.
See ya.
You, Alvida.
Stone Cold Stunner.
Night. Farewell.
Fare thee well to you, my own true love. River Mercy, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place that I know where I'd well. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now I signed on a Yankee clipper ship. Davy Crockett is the name, and the captain's name it is Burgess, and they say that she's a floating shame. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Now I sailed with Burgess once before, and I think that I know him well. If a man's a sailor, he will get along. If he's not, then he's sure in hell. So very well, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. All right, Gio. Oh, the sun is on the harbor, love. Oh, I wish that I could remain, for I know that it will be a long, long time before I see you again. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee. One more time. So farewell, my own true love. When I return united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my darling, when I think of thee.
Well, my hangover's gone and I'm thirsty for more.
Come on, hang on.
These hot guys.
Come on, hang on.
These hot guys.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
That'll do it. Bye, Yampo. Oh, there you are.
Are we not on Facebook
live
anymore?
It still says live on the thing.
No, it doesn't.
Are we not on Facebook
No, it
anymore?
doesn't.